look at extending the reading experience. Now that we're able to make tracks when we read, we're going to really focus on analyzing what we read more carefully. It's about those ahas that we get while we're thinking. And so when we're responding, we want to allow those aha moments to be shared with others. And we want to power up our brain thinking to higher levels. That's where the Blues Taxonomy comes in. It's where we become blooming thinkers. Our learning is not just about showing what we know, taking the information and just giving it right back out. That's the lowest level in our brain thinking. We can understand what we learn and make meaning from it as well. But notice how we want to focus most of our energy on applying, using what we learn in new situations, and analyzing, where we break down what we learn to carefully look at the individual parts. We do this frequently with text. We break down smaller portions of a text to carefully look at it. Now, let's not forget the importance of evaluating, where we're judging or defending our opinions and thoughts about something that we read, and we're questioning and we're critiquing it. This is where our brain is working at maximum strength. Finally, creating is important for higher level thinking, where we're putting new things together. But when we're analyzing and evaluating text, this is where our brain strength needs to be. All right, so today I've got to tell you about somebody you know pretty well.
You.
Nope. What? It's called Captain Obvious.
Oh.
You've heard me say that, right?
Yeah.
Can anybody tell me what being obvious means? Andrew, what does being obvious mean?
Easy answers.
Okay, easy answers. Landon.
You're really certain about something.
You're really certain about something?
It's like if you say the first color, what's the first color in a rainbow? It's kind of Captain Obvious.
Okay, Sage?
I thought it was kind of like really, really easy.
Mm-hmm. Paige?
It's kind of obvious that this room is called the green room.
Okay. You know what? That's a good example of being obvious. Yes.
It's like saying something that everybody knows, like the ground or that carpet's green.
Yeah. Sam?
Quinn.
Hey, can you explain?
It means to be like what you look at, everybody else can look at it and know what it is.
Okay. Okay. Great ideas. Hold on to them. Yeah, you've got the idea.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Hang on to it. Obvious. You can look at it and you know right away. This is a green alligator who is smiling and waving, right?
How do you know he's not? How do you know he's not just putting his hand up?
Is he green?
Yeah.
Is he an alligator?
Yeah.
So,
That's Captain
guess what?
Obvious.
I am stating the obvious. Captain Obvious just states what can be seen. It's not very interesting, and it's kind of boring. But let's talk about Captain Creative. Now, Captain Creative, this is a little more Captain Creative. I see a green alligator hiding a secret. He's really a superhero. He tries to stretch the bounds of his thinking. His brain signal strength is high because he goes above and beyond. His thinking goes up, up, up,
And
away. And so, today I'm going to talk to you about being less of a Captain Obvious and a little more of a Captain Creative. And let me talk to you. Let me talk to you about how. And your creativity may run wild in your head, but if it's not coming out in your written work, I'm not seeing it. And I'm seeing a lot of Captain Obvious. So I want to start stretching us a little bit more into that Captain Creative. And I'd like to talk to you about what's been hanging back here. Because you've seen it, but I've not addressed it.
What? Wait, we have seen that?
How much signal strength is your brain using today? Now I'm guessing that you're all familiar with cell phones.
Yeah.
You at least know what one is.
I have one. I have one. I mean, iPod Touch. I have one.
Okay, the idea of signal strength, we deal with it in here. How much signal are our devices getting? Well, I kind of like to apply that to your brain. How much signal strength is your brain using? How much power does it have going on? And do you see my bars?
Yeah.
Okay, each one of my bars kind of represents a different level of brain strength. What I'm going to talk to you about, and I'm going to give you the big technical teacher terms, is called the Blues Taxonomy. Here's what you need to know. A gentleman by the name of Benjamin Bloom, a long time ago, back even before I was born, came up with this idea to organize levels of thinking and to help us as teachers better put things into more challenging ways for students. So a couple years ago, it was kind of revised a little bit and brought into our digital age with all the technology that we have. I'm going to explain it to you in some kid terms, okay? And I'm going to call us some Bloomin' thinkers. Bloom because of the man who came up with this. Our thinking skills are kind of like chores that we might do. I thought it would be a great way to connect your brain strength to some jobs that you can do. You guys ready to do this with me?
Yeah.
Okay, the first level of brain strength is the remembering level. It's just where you memorize things. What's 2 plus 2? 4. Did that really require a lot of work to come out of you? No. All right, so I'm doing my chores around the house and I'm running vacuum. Do I really have to think hard to do this? It's kind of like I can be on autopilot, and that's what remembering is like. We take in information and we give it right back out. I suck up the dirt, I dump it out. Vacuum with me.
I did that yesterday.
Is your brain working hard?
No.
No.
I got a new vacuum.
So guess what, Matthew? That's the lowest level of brain strength. When you're just remembering stuff for me, when you're listing it, when I ask you what's the name of the character in the story, and you give it back to me, or are you working hard?
Yep. No.
You're only remembering, okay? Easiest level. The next level is understanding. Kind of where we get into more of explaining stuff, and this is the chore I like to think. Anybody got a mom or a dad that likes to cook on the grill?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw some eye rolling on that.
I like food that comes from the grill, but I love hot dogs.
All right, so I'm cooking on my grill. I take my frozen food and I put it on there. Hot dogs and burgers, because that's about as creative as I get. I might sprinkle on a little seasoning and make it my own. Is it really a lot of work?
No.
It's not. That's what understanding is like. We make meaning from what we learn, and we make it our own. I can cook that frozen hamburger, but when I put a little salt and pepper on it, I've kind of spiced it up and made it my own. That's what understanding is like. Not too difficult.
You're making me hungry.
Not too difficult. Okay? It's where we might rewrite something. It's where we might summarize it. Remember our summarizing?
Summarizing, rounding up ideas, making it short. Only tell the important parts, giving all in order. Summarizing.
Excellent. And the thing about summarizing is you're doing just that. Okay? You're making meaning out of what you're reading, but you're kind of making it your own by shortening it and telling it in your words. All right, I'm going to move on to the next brain level strength. Can you see what it is in green? Apply. Applying. Now we're getting into a little more power. Okay? Anybody ever go grocery shopping with mom or dad?
Yeah.
Okay, you might walk into the store with a list of things you need. But using that list, you're going to probably try to compare and buy the best quality, maybe at the lowest prices. Maybe you have a recipe of things that you need to cook. So you're going in with something in mind, but you have to think about it. Applying. Applying is when we use what we learn in a new situation. Use what we learn in a new situation. Okay? It's like going into that grocery store. I need to go in and get milk. But when I go in and get that milk, do I want low fat? Do I want 2%? Do I want vitamin D? Do I want this brand or do I want that brand? I've got to apply what I know about milk to this situation. All right, what's the next level? Analyzing. When you analyze something, and I've used this word a lot for you, analyze a character. Well, let me talk to you a little bit more about what I might mean. Now, you may or may not have had this experience before, and if you have not, I want you to try to picture it with me. Think about washing a dog. We know what it needs to look like in the end, right? Clean, shiny dog. However, the steps to get there, it's going to depend on the dog. When I give Cracker, my dog, a bath, it's way different than when I give my little dog Cheese a bath. Usually bathing Cheese starts with a chase. Cracker, it's come here, come here. And so what I have to do is I have to break down my job. I have to know what I'm doing for washing. Cheese has to be caught and wrangled into the bathroom. Cracker will come in and sit and wait by the tub while I fill it up. I need to know all of my steps. I break it down and I carefully look at all the parts. Cracker's fur is thicker, so I'm probably going to need to scrub a lot more. And it's going to take me more time to rinse. One big job, but I need to break it down. I analyze it. I analyze it. Yes, Sophia?
When we try to give my dog a bath, we try to get him, but he runs away when we get him in the bath. We have to hold him down as hard as we can.
Yes.
Someone has to hop in.
So the steps you take to bathe your dog are a little different than mine. Now, we can share dog washing stories all day long, but I'm going to have you put them on hold. Sounds like a great thing for you to write and describe. You have a question about analyzing?
Yeah.
What's your question about analyzing?
It's not about analyzing.
Oh, well then hang on to it because we're wrapping up analyzing and we're moving on to the next level, which is
Evaluate.
evaluate. Evaluate. This is where you're justifying stuff. Let me give you a good example. How many of you recycle?
I'll have recycle.
Okay, if you are a recycler, you have got to take that item and go, is this a recyclable material? If so, do I need to separate it? Do I put it in this bin? This paper, can I recycle this? This plastic. Okay, you have to look at each piece and decide where it goes. So, when we judge and defend or question and critique, I can recycle this because, or here's a different example. Alex, you're telling me you don't recycle. You know what? I'm going to defend why I recycle to you. I recycle because I know that the less trash I put in our landfills is better for the environment. That's what evaluating is.
I can't. I don't have recycling.
I understand. But for evaluating, we judge, we defend, we question, and we critique. When we do go to recycle, especially here at school, we assess, how can we do this? Recycling paper is easy in our classroom. I have a bin, I can walk it right out the door. That's what evaluating is like. Judging something, questioning it, and deciding the value of it. All right, the final level. This is when your brain is working at its highest signal strength. Each one requires a little more power from you. The final one is creating. Anybody ever bake or cook with someone? If you have baked or cooked before, this is what creating is like. You need a recipe. You need all of these ingredients. When you put all of these ingredients in and mix it up, something new comes out. Something brand new. The sugar and the flour and the milk and the eggs. Each individually, there's something different. But put them all together and you create. You put things together to make something new. When you're creating, You're taking all that learning that you have
Find out a PB&J sandwich with hot sauce.
and creating something new. Okay, Alex, I'm applying the idea of hooking to your learning. Put all this new learning in and create something new. Yes, ma'am.
My brother created something new.
That's, and you know what? That's what creating is like. You put all these different things in. Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to create a new robot.
Okay, so you're working your brain at that higher level. Let's take this back to our brains now. Alex, back to our brain?
No.
Okay, let's get back to our brains. Now in here, one of the ways that I'm going to push you to move your brain through those different levels is through something I've put together. Did you all see these trays last week?
Brochures.
My brochures, yes. And do you see how they're labeled fiction and nonfiction?
Yeah.
And do you see how they start at remembering and they work their way up?
Yeah.
Okay, these are my Bloom's book brochures. Okay, and this is an extra point activity that I'm going to add in. I was making it part of my 100 club for the 4th graders, but they're so excited to do this that I'm like, you know what? Why not? These you can take with you. You can do for any book you wish. Let me show you what one of the brochures looks like. Okay, I'll start with how about applying in fiction? So here's my brochure. I can put my name, so I can put Tyler's Bloom's brochure for applying, and then put the book title, okay? And it's got all these different sections. Tyler, you're reading a book right now? Oh, I'm in shock. Tyler will have one tonight. Noah.
I just finished a book.
Okay, what book did you just finish?
Big Nate Flips Out.
Okay, Big Nate. All right, so if he's reading Big Nate, he writes Big Nate Flips Out. This is Noah's Bloom's brochure. He can illustrate his favorite part. He's applying what he knows about his favorite part to illustrate it. He can give an example of the text that supports. Does that sound familiar? Am I always telling you to support your claims with? Yeah, with evidence. Okay? He can sketch a beginning and a middle and an end of his story. He can examine how the character changed during the story. Was Nate one way in the beginning and a little different by the end?
Yeah, actually.
Yes.
He was a slob in the beginning and then he got hypnotized to be neat.
Perfect. So could you write about that? And then how did the character solve the conflict or the problem? Nate's problem was he was a slob?
Yeah, but then he hated being clean.
Oh, well then that sounds like a whole new problem, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and give this to you because you can do an applying brochure, can't you? Sage, do you have a question?
No. Well, I'm reading this. What if you have a book that it isn't really like chapters, it has letters. I'm reading a book that's
Fun. What book are you reading?
regarding a fountain.
I love that book. Are you reading my copy or did you get your own? Awesome. I love that book. You can pick a part out of that book. Okay? And when you're reading those longer books, it's hard to do the whole...
I'm a blooming thinker. I put things together to make something new. I did this brochure, the creating brochure, and I did my book after Sink or Swim. So I started with the compose an acrostic poem, and I did this character named Abby. I started with amazing, and then I did brainy, bold, and young. Since she was a kid, I did young. So.
Let me zoom in on that.
Okay. Then I went to the different title. Instead of calling it whatever after sink or swim, I would call it whatever after tail and legs because one of the main characters they had a tail and they turned into legs, and then like sink or swim really doesn't go with that. And then after that I did the conflict. I really didn't think anything I wouldn't do anything differently. I think they handled it perfectly fine. And then I did a different ending instead of the main character, which was a mermaid. The Little Mermaid, instead of being able to have legs and not getting married to the prince, Lena would be able to be mermaid and human with a special potion, and she would give it to the other main characters, Abby and Jonah, and the prince would marry her. And then I did this book, a new picture for the book, and so I did it goes with the title, so I did that with the title, and I did what it would look like with the ending part of it, and so there's like the Little Mermaid and Jonah and Abby, so